honestly, the crazy thing is it's been a month, so much has happened, and so much needs to be talked about. One, in the words of Little Kim, I've been gone for a minute. Now I'm back with the jump off. Two, if you know, you know. Two, we collectively celebrated the Podiversary of this podcast in the time since I last filmed. And three, I went to the New York Sheep and Wool Festival, so Rhinebeck. And so there's so much to talk about on the other side. I'm not going to linger too long. But because this is also a Potversary episode, that means that there's a new boogie to start off this podcast. So let's get into it. Take 114. What's good, peacemakers? Welcome back to another episode of the Piece4PeaceCrafting podcast. I'm Michael, and this is my crafty corner of the YouTube universe. If you would like to find me on other social media, you can do so by following me over on Instagram as Piece4PeaceCrafting or on Ravelry as Piece4PeaceCraft. If you like books, you can follow me as I'm pretty sure it's Piece4PeaceCrafting over on the Storygraph. If you like music, you can follow along to the playlist on Spotify that goes with this podcast, the Piece4PeaceCrafting podcast playlist. I'm on Blue Sky as Piece4PeaceCraft. I haven't used it very much. I should get back into it, but I'm in all the places. If this is your first time checking out this podcast, welcome. And if you are returning, welcome back. To any of my new friends, if you enjoy the content here, please feel free to do all that fun YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe, so that you can see any future videos that will pop up for you, or pop up from me, not from you, maybe from you, who knows? Maybe you too have a channel, and I should be subscribed to it. The dog is deciding he wants to cause a ruckus, but now maybe he's calm. All right, hello everyone. How are we doing? It's been a month, so we're gonna have a monthly check-in this time around. Was not planning on that, but the way the chips sort of fell from my last episode, the week that I was supposed to podcast again, I was away on a work trip, so I couldn't do anything because I was away on a work trip, and then the following time that I should have recorded was the weekend of, sorry to kick you all, was the weekend of the New York Sheep and Wool Festival, also known as, to us in this community, as Rhinebeck weekend. And so I was there with friends taking in all of the goodness of that event. So yeah, there's been a lot going on. A lot of life stuff, a lot of crafting, and if I'm being honest, just coming off of, so I'm recording, it's Saturday, so 1 week after those Rhinebeck weekend, which means that I will do another episode the following weekend, so I'm back on schedule, where that will be more of like what I'm working on. I'm probably going to finish one thing too in that time, which I won't talk about right now because I already feel like this is going to be a really long episode. But in a week, because I've been working on things, because I've been very inspired from my time away, we'll have another little catch up with some other things. But for this one, we're mainly just going to focus on 3 FOs that I finished, and some acquisitions from my time being away into different places. Just quickly, I will say for those who maybe weren't able to attend or didn't attend, you don't want to attend, but maybe you just like watching vicariously from those who go to the festivities of the New York Sheep and Wool Festival, and for those who were there. In all honesty, my own personal experience this year, so this is my 4th year going, I really feel that we planned it out in such a way that it was more focused on like our time together, like me and my housemates. So for those who do not know, which I'm sure there's like 1,000 recap videos coming out right now, which is also part of the fun of it. So I went and I shared a home with the 3 ladies of the Knitting Posse, Kevin and Ray of, so that's Kim, Kate, and Laura, and then Kevin and Ray of Needles at the Ready, and Aaron and Chip of Fiber Hustle, and our friend Sue. So we had a beautiful home in Kingston. It was really lovely. Great experience. I love spending time with them. It was so nice that the West Coast boys got to come over this year and join in the fun. So they hadn't been in 3 years since my first time going. So it was really nice to like spend time with them, even though I'd just been with them for Flock a couple months ago. But it was nice to spend time with them again too. And it's so lovely just getting to spend time with that group of people. You know, you all have heard me say this before. It's like they're extended family. We hang out, we're silly, we have a great time together. And I think just in reflecting back on last year where we tried to do a lot of things, this year we kept it very chill. So on Friday, there's like some satellite events, and we only went to one. We went to Indie Untangled. They do at that event, they do time slots. And so we went for like the second time slot, which was 12 to 2. Very chill, got to see some folks. And yeah, then we spent time together. We went out to dinner. It was like more of us connecting with one another because we don't get to see each other. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about the weekend is, there's a lot of internet friends there's a lot of internet friends happening because we are, I have this podcast or I post things on Instagram. And so just the nature of following and watching other people's podcasts, it's a great way for us to like see each other and hang out, but also get to meet some of you, which is also so lovely, and just like sharing in hugs and getting to spend time with you all and talk about what you're buying and what you think you may be making with things or not making with things, because we all know the purchasing and the making are 2 different hobbies. So yeah, that whole vibe was really lovely, and I think that was kind of the thing for the whole weekend, was just getting to share time with people. I did do a little bit of shopping, but I feel like this year that wasn't, I don't want to say it wasn't the goal, but I didn't feel like I was there to shop as much this year. I felt like I spent a lot of my time just really excited to run into people and bump into people and meet new folks. I would go through the whole list of people that I met, but I don't want to bore you all with that. Just know that I met a lot of wonderful people and got to catch up with some people who I consider friends, even though we're just like internet friends. And just sharing conversations with them and hang out. Yeah, and just like nerd out over fun woolly things. It was really special. It was a really good weekend, and yeah, I left feeling really inspired, which I feel like normally happens, but this year even more so. It was a really big crowd. There were lots of things to see and look at. Yeah, I'm just like looking around because I'm like trying to gather all my thoughts. 10 out of 10 would recommend. If you might not be a people person, it might not be the event for you, but if you feel like, because I know like even walking around, it's like, oh, there's a lot of introverts here who we're coming out of the house to do this because we really enjoy what we're doing. And I do feel like, you know, if you aren't a crowd person, you can, well, Saturday for sure it's crowded, but there are areas in which you can just like slip away and have a breather, you know, go to the car, just hang out, decompress for a minute to recharge your batteries, and then go back in. I'm definitely one of those people that does that. Even though I do have a very extroverted personality, I have introverted tendencies. And so I too like to just like, okay, I can't people anymore. I just need like an hour. My thing that I kept saying over the weekend, it was more so in reference to food, is like, I just want to eat so I can continue being nice. Was the thing that I felt like I was saying a lot. And I was trying to catch myself before I would get to that place where I'd be like, oh, I like, well, not that I would be outly rude to people, but just like where I know when I get hungry, I just start to shut down and I like won't talk and I become pretty quiet. So yeah, it was just like, okay, I need to eat something because I can feel my batteries getting low and I want to continue being nice and friendly to everyone. And so yeah, we did that. And it was great. I loved all of my time there. The nice thing too about this year is that we some of us tacked on an extra day at the very end of the trip. And so normally we would leave on Monday, but we left on Tuesday. And so they gave us an extra day to just like kind of hang out. It ended up being kind of a gray day, which was awesome. So we just like hung around and had a fire and crafted and joked and laughed. There was so much laughing going on through the weekends that, yeah, I feel like all of us left that time together really feeling like our cups had been filled, and our suitcases. And yeah, there's just like a lot of love and hanging out with everyone, and that was really wonderful. So if you think that you can handle it, I would say definitely, you know, it is a saving, well, I'll speak for myself. It is a saving type of event. You know, I have to get a plane ticket to fly there. You know, you're paying for a place to stay and doing all these things and the shopping. And so, yeah, if you feel like that's in your means and it sounds like something you would want to do, I definitely would say try to plan and make the trip with a group of friends, or reach out to people. Maybe you have internet friends and you want to come hang out and enjoy the things. I think it's totally worth it. Totally worth it. All right, so that's gonna be my like Rhinebeck recap. That's funny. Then should we just do it now? Let's just do it. I'm gonna pause for a second so I can grab something because I wasn't thinking I was gonna do this. But we're just gonna do it because we're here. Okay? 1 second. Okay, so since this is also a Potversary episode, which is kind of crazy to think that like 5 years ago in October of 2020, I decided to start this podcast. That's just crazy to think that I've been doing this for 5 years. Like, that's insane. But great. I'm so grateful for it. I like would not be going and having the weekend that I just had I not started this podcast, because if I'm being honest, I probably wouldn't know that going to Rhinebeck was like a thing, or like doing that weekend was a thing. I mean, maybe I would, but not with the people that I went with. Anyway, so I feel like it's definitely brought a sense of community and yeah, just like a new set of friends, which is really dope. And so I thank you all for continuing to watch and support and do all of the things that come up and say hi when you see me out and about at events. I truly love that. It still makes me feel like, oh, that's so crazy that like you all know who I am, but I don't know who you are, but I do know who you are. Yeah. Anyway, with that being said, I want to do a little bit of a pass along is what we're calling it. And so I have, I believe 8, it could be 9, but I think it's 8 skeins of this. I think it's Plymouth Select or it's Plymouth yarn. It's a chunky merino superwash. It has, 1 second please. There are 109 yards in each. I'm not pulling out all of them. I'm just gonna pull out one, but it's a dark charcoal, but it's heathered. It's got some like navy blues and like a plummy purple in there. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, I also have this light on. Let me turn that off. What? That's crazy. Yeah, it's got some like blues. It's heathered. It's chunky. And so I would love to pass this along to you all. I had hopes of possibly knitting this up into something, but I've come to the realization that I'm probably never going to get around to knitting it. And so I'd rather send it to someone who would like to use it. So if you would like this superwash yarn, this chunky superwash yarn, I think it's about 900. I think I have 8 or 9 skeins of it. I'll double check, and then I will do what I've done the past couple times is I'll put up a thread in Ravelry, so you can find it either on Ravelry, or if Ravelry is not accessible to you, you can use the Ravit app, RAVIT app. I do believe I've talked to some folks and they said that it's much easier for them to access Ravelry through that app. But you can go to the group and I'll have a little tab, and you can just leave a comment there and I will pick a random person. Oh, let's make it quick and dirty. I will do it within the week. And so in the next episode, so in a week's time, so those of you who are watching on time, or like within the next week on time, that's so funny. You all can go over to Ravelry and what are we commenting on? Leave a comment about, because it'll just be Halloween. Leave a comment about your favorite Halloween costume that you were, either as a child or as an adult. Doesn't really matter. Favorite Halloween costume, I'll pick a winner, and then, I'll pass this along to you all. Perfect. Okay. Now that that's out of the way, let's get into my 3 FOs. So remember, I'm supposed to be doing this quickly because I don't want this to be 4 hours long. I finished this sweater or vest is where I'm going to start. This is the Oak Grove vest by Chin Matthews. This was knit up in Utopia Sustainable, which is, because I have some left, let me see. Which is, I have that's my dyslexia talking. I have 74 grams left of one of the skeins. And so this is just 100% Midwest fine wools. So it includes Targhee, Rambouillet, CVM, and Merino. It's a blend. And I use the color Balsam Fir. So I had 4 skeins of this. I used 3 and a little. Like I said, I have 74 grams of this left over. Love the color. The flecks that are in it are so beautiful. Absolutely loved working with this. Hands down, a stunning, amazing, gorgeous yarn to work with. Highly, highly, highly recommend. So I knit the... Oh, is this the pattern? That would be so clutch. I knit the 4th size. So that would be the size for a chest of 48, because I wanted the positive ease. When I knit this, it's supposed to be knit on a 6, I think. and I went up to a US 7 because when I did my swatch, yeah, it's supposed to be knit on a 6. I did it on a 7. When I did my swatch, it was a little bit tight on the 6. So I decided to go up to a 7, which I'm really happy that I did. It opened up the lace a lot. Just worked out well. The ribbing I did in with a US 4 needle, and the cast on, because it's knit bottom up, I started with a US 3 to do a tubular cast on. And then I knit, the only other modification that I made was, I made 2. I knit a little bit longer for the sleeve ribbing, and then I did a tubular bind off on everything. And then for the neckline, I decided to just knit about 2.5 inches and not do the folded over collar. I really love the way that this worked for me. I love how it fit. I will pop in a photo of myself, Kevin, and Ray with Chin on the hill. We all took a photo together. I hope everyone's fine with me posting that. I'm sure they are. If you're not, let me know. Yeah, I would knit with this wool again. I actually went to the Utopia booth in hopes of buying more of this yarn, not in this color. But that didn't happen, and I will show you why in a little bit. Yeah, really great, 10 out of 10. I would say that if you are interested in making this vest, you should be an adventurous beginner, or like an intermediate, whatever that means, knitter. I definitely think that there were a couple times where I was, and I don't think that I'm like advanced in any way, but there were a couple times where I was like, oh, I'm wondering if I'm reading this right. And I actually did have to rip out one of the like shoulder shaping at one point because I definitely did it wrong. Luckily, it was only about 6 rows, so it was easy. Maybe 3, maybe it was 4. Anyway, it was a small number and there weren't many stitches, and so it was easy for me to rip back and read the lace work. But it does take a little bit of concentration and just like knowing some stuff. Even though the pattern is super well written and there's like 18 sizes, yeah, it just make sure you're reading. There's charts, there's written out instructions, like everything is there. I loved knitting this. I've worn it a couple times and am so happy with it. And actually, I would say that this made me believe that I am a vest person. I didn't think that I was, and I've knit a vest for myself before and actually only wore it once. But then I finished this and I was like, oh, I think I'm a vest person. So the other vest that I made, I actually wore at Rhinebeck as well. I'll pop that photo in here. My Montpelier vest as well. And I loved wearing both of them over the weekend. I thought they were both really lovely. Actually, I wore that one yesterday at work. So there are more vests in my future. I'm really excited with how this turned out. I will say that the yarn blocks beautifully. I blocked it once per the instructions and then did all of the ribbing and then came back. I was gonna steam it, but then decided I wanted to do another full block at the end once I had finished all of the finishing, which I did, and I'm happy that I did because that allowed me the space to just open up that lace a little bit more and give myself a little bit more breathing room, we'll say, within the final fit of the garment. And I'm really happy that I did that. It softened the yarn more, it made the fit a little bit better, and yeah, it's a 10 out of 10 for me. Okay, the next thing, as I'm throwing things that I finished, was, oh, you guys, I'm so excited about this. I finished my Cinnabar. So this, is this the front? Yes. This, oh my God. This is a shawl pattern by Andrea Mowry. It's a DK, it's written for a DK and a sport weight. I did mine using some hand spun. I spun for this project actually, so I used my own hand spun, which is the gray gold's number, and then the main color is Fiber Hustle yarn, and it is in the colorway London Fog. And actually, you were supposed to need 4. Ooh, don't fall. Is that this? Is that this? It is. You're supposed to need 4 skeins according to the pattern to do this, and I only needed 3. So my gauge is probably just different than hers. So this is on Erin's DK base, and it's 100% superwash BFL, which so bomb, and it's 246. Sorry, I'm having trouble with numbers today. 46 yards. I shouldn't do any counting later when I start knitting. And I love this. So this is so funny. I had this much, which is probably, I don't know, 5 grams maybe left over from my 3rd skein. And then I had 3 skeins of my hand spun, and I only used 2 and a little bit of this 3rd one. So I think I have those numbers written down. Hold please, let me just shift some stuff around. I had about 740 yards of my hand spun, and I mean I didn't even use, excuse me, I maybe used about a little over 5. We're gonna go with that. I love this. It's massive. I will put it on. Actually, I'm not gonna put it on. You know why? Here's a photo that I have. We took a picture with Andrew Mallory. We waited until the line died down for the Ooey Gooey folks. And she actually asked if I wanted her to style it for me, and I was like, absolutely. So here's a picture of the 2 of us with me wearing it. Gagged. I will say that. It's amazing. It's very big, which I'm 6 feet, so I need something that's more of a schlanket size, and that is definitely this. I feel like I could have, I love holding it up just in a ball. I definitely feel like I could have blocked it a little bit more aggressively, which I could definitely do again, but if I'm being honest, I like the way that I blocked it out. I think it's a great size. Maybe after the season or halfway through the season, let's just do this. I will block it again and maybe give it another good blocking, but I absolutely love it. It's brioche and garter. I'm so happy that I did this project, and it's, I'm finding that, which is a great segue, that, using my hand spun is giving me, it's just making me so excited to like knit things, especially when they're patterns like this that are written for a color changing yarn. And now knowing that I have the skill to do that myself, I think is really dope, and that brings me a lot of joy. So that's the Cinnabar. Very excited about that. I'm actually gonna turn this light back on, or maybe my eyes are just tired and it looks like my lighting is low. Oh, it also could be that my phone, let me not do that. It also could be that my phone, it's dark outside now, and the time, it like went into sepia mode. Anyway, okay. You don't need to know all that. All right, the last thing, which you didn't even see me cast on. Sorry, I'm gonna have a little sip. I'm having some decaf this evening. Well, I have decaf all the time, but I wanted something warm while I was doing this. So I'm having a little decaf in my Prince mug. All right, so you all haven't even seen this because I, on a whim, because of my enabler, cast this on and cast it off. So continuing on with the theme of Andrea Mallory, I was enabled to knit the, sorry, the name escaped me, the Jaunty scarf, is it called? Or is it just called Jaunty? I'm just going to say Jaunty for now. And again, a pattern that is written for whatever, but was shown also in handspun. And so I was like, okay, let me go through my handspun stash and just see what I have and if there's anything that maybe I can do this with. So this pattern is written for half fisherman's rib. I'd never done that before. So I also wanted to use it as an excuse to, well, one, use my own handspun, and two, try a new knitting technique. And yeah, so I went through my stash and I found a, I thought it was one skein, but it ended up being two. I just put them together, of some Into the World. One, it was a combo spin that I did with, one braid was 100% Romney, one braid was 100% Cheviot. The colors, I think when I looked it up, were something like Arrakis and The Empty Child, I think. And so, where'd my little notebook go? So I had about seven. No. Numbers. There is a 7 in it. My dyslexia is reading it backwards. There were 487 yards or 210 grams of fiber. And this is probably, I don't know, I wish I had my scale here. This is probably 15 maybe grams left, but it's interesting. I will say that when I decided I was going to spin up those two braids, I was like, this is giving maybe. And then I finished it and I was like, okay, well, the yarn's fine. It's not like, it's nothing to write home about. And I just like tucked it away and I'm like, whatever, the yarn will find a project at some point. And so I saw this pattern and I was like, okay, let me go through my stuff. Let me just give this a shot. And like, if I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. But like, it's giving me something to knit on. I'm working with my handspun. I'm learning a new technique. So it's whatever. So I cast it on and started working on it before I left to go to New York. And literally, I kid you not, as we were pulling into the parking lot for the first day at New York Sheep and Wool, I like wove in the end. Like I'd finished it in the car. There were only 2 ends and I wove them both in as we parked and I plopped it in my bag. And so I got to take a picture also with Andrea and the boys. I'll pop that one in here as well, of all of us in our jaunties. And once I came home, I was able to give it a good block. And this, I'm trying to make sure I show you the front. This is what that looks like. I'm gonna do halvesies and then flip it. I, excuse me, love the colors, which is funny because I didn't really like them skeined up, but I love the colors. What? It's giving, okay, so that's one side. Purples and golds and blues. And then the other side, oh, yes, please, is more purples in the middle. And like it looks cute in the photo, but having had the time, I'm gonna try not to slap the mic, to like actually block it and like give it a little, like not aggressively, but aggressively block it. I am obsessed. I think it's so cute. It's giving very much autumnal vibes. I love that one end is more yellow and the other end is more purple. Because it's the Romney and the Cheviot, it has a little bit more of a toothiness to it, which I personally like, being someone who has a beard and wearing things, you know, around my neck. I want them to be able to last. So sometimes using something like a merino doesn't, I mean, I like that. It feels soft, but I've come to learn that it's not my first choice because it's just gonna get eaten up by the coarse hair that's on my face. So this is a vibe, absolutely obsessed. I love how this turned out. I used up a lot of that hand spun, and yeah, I definitely think that this is, for me, a pattern that for a couple people in my life that maybe I might want to try knitting for again, is something that I think is a better entry point into wearing knitwear, as opposed to maybe some other things I'd made for them in the past. It's easy to throw on, you know, wear it when you're running out. You could wear it around the office. I don't know. I think this is a better entry point into knitwear than like some other things maybe that I've made for them. Although those things were amazing as well. Okay, great. Those are my 3 things that I made for the event. I'm very excited. Oh, that was, that yarn was about a sporty DK, like heavy sport, light DK. I knit it using a US 5, I think. Whatever it says in the pattern, that's what I did. Yeah, sweet. All right, I'm gonna move some stuff around really fast, and then we are gonna get into just a couple, oh Lord, don't fall. We're just gonna get into a couple things that I purchased over the course of the weekend, and I'll go quickly. One of the things that I decided I'm not gonna show is like a bunch of the smaller little gift things that people passed along to me. I think it's really sweet, and if I wanted, it's not that I don't want to show them, it's just like they're things that like maybe you can't get, or they're just like really tiny, small things, and we would be here for hours. But there are 2 things that one gift that I am going to show, and one thing that I'm treating as a gift, because it actually is a gift because it was their time. All right, cool. So first thing is, while I was away on my trip to Detroit, I was at a dance convention, and I ran into someone who I'd met there a previous year. And I went up to her because she was wearing, I don't know the name of the pattern, but it was some Caitlin Hunter pattern that I'd recognized. And so, you know, she was speaking to someone. I went up, whatever. We started talking. I was like, oh, I love your sweater. It's, you know, that designer, I can't remember the name. She told me what it was. I was like, oh my gosh. She's like, wait, you're Michael. You were knitting that shawl last year during the convention. I'm like, oh my God, that's so funny. So we hit it off. And over the course of the 3 or 4 days, I can't remember how long that conference was, that I was there, we kept running into each other. And she was like, did you know that there's a yarn shop down the street? And I'm like, that's so funny, because I didn't even look up yarn shops, which normally I would do if I was going on a trip, but I think I was so focused on like, oh, well, I'm going to be in the hotel, we're doing this conference, yada, yada, yada. Whatever. She's like, it's a 15-minute walk away. I was perfect. So one of the days, me and a colleague that I went with, we decided we were going to go for a walkabout, and we went to the yarn shop. This bag is so busted. It's called Park Avenue in Detroit, and a lovely little yarn shop. They had some really great things. I picked up some more stitch stop, or like needle minders, I guess is what we're calling them. Excuse me. And oh, did you hear my stomach growl? That's scary. They're avocados, and I thought that was just so funny. So I had to have those. And then I didn't really need any yarn, but I wanted to support the shop because it was, 1, a yarn shop, and 2, it was a Black-owned yarn shop. And so after perusing and looking around, I decided that I was going to pick up some of the Brooklyn Tweed Tones yarn, which is American Colombian wool. It is a worsted weight. It's 140 yards. And these are 50 gram skeins? I can't remember. Anyway, but this is in the color Vacay. And I figure since they're like not making yarn anymore, I should just grab them. And it's in this stunning what is that? Aqua color. I love it. It's good times. So I picked these two up. Very happy about that. It's probably going to end up being a hat, if I'm honest. Yeah, it'll probably end up being a hat. And maybe the trim of something, because I know a hat won't take both of those. So that's that. All right, now back to Rhinebeck. Our friend Sue was so kind, and she repurposed, I believe she said they were knit sweaters. Let me just open it so that I'm not fumbling in front of you all. So she made some little progress keepers. This one's an acorn. And then these little pouches that were like sweaters or something. And it closes up, but it also has stitch markers and a pair of scissors in it, which I thought was just so adorable and so cute and so sweet. You can always use everything that's in this little pouch. So that's one thing. The second thing is, prior to going out, I know the guys at Needles at the Ready usually bring their Trisket, their circular sock machine. Is that what it's called? Yes. And so I sent them a bunch of skeins of yarn before we went out, like a couple months ago, and they brought me the tube. So I have a bunch of socks. I know some of you are like, you don't show your socks anymore. I just haven't been making them as much. But now I have so many tubes that I can just like crank them out. Here's the little tube baby that I got. I'm not going to go through all of them because honestly, I don't remember. So a lot of them are Willens and Nosh. Some of them are other things. I have the minis in a bag somewhere in this house that I have to find now. I'm getting hot. And yeah, everything's labeled. And so I like took a picture because I was like, I'm not going to remember. I can't wait to start making these. So I'm saying that this is a gift that is showable because it was a gift of their time. And I love that. All right. So on to, there's so much stuff around me. On to the purchases of the weekend. I'm going to go backwards because of the way that this bag is packed. That's sitting in front of me. All right. So going back to Utopia, I wanted to get yarn from them, and they were doing this really cool thing where they had these like blanket bundles, I think is what they were calling them. And we like walked past and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like the colors are really beautiful. Everything was very tonal, like nothing was solid. It was, very light and dark. So there's probably going to be some striping in it, but it was 200. It was 2,400 yards of DK weight in this bundle. And I'm like, okay, well, that could definitely get a sweater. And they were like, well, depending on the size, you could probably get two. And I'm like, okay, well, this is just a great deal for what they were asking for. And so we looked at them a little bit. We went away. We came back. And so we were all looking at them. And it was like on a, what do you call that? Not a divider, but like, it was like a bookshelf. I was on one side, Kevin and Ray were on the other. And they were looking at two bundles and they were trying to figure out if they had like similar colors because of the way that they were folded. So they were over on the side talking, trying to figure out like, oh, like, does yours have this one? Does yours have that one? I wasn't paying any attention to them. I was like, I got to find something that's going to be for me. So I see all these really bright colors and I'm like, oh my gosh, I am going to get this because like that's very my vibe. And so I picked one up and I come around, like kind of around the corner and I'm like, oh, you guys, what about this? And now I'm going to show you what I got. I go, what about this? This is insane. And much to my surprise, we all picked the same bundles. But because of the way that they were all attached, We couldn't see all of the colors that were in it. So I was like, this is ridiculous. And we all got them. And our friend Aaron from Fiber Hustle also got one, but his main color is cream, which he's like, I dye yarn. I'm just gonna dye a dark gray so that they all match. So this came with, so it has a, you can see it's like two-toned gray mane, and I think there are 3 skeins of that, and then there's like 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 other colors. So there's like mustard and green and this like lighter, or like this baby blue, this lighter greenish blue, a cream color, the browns. So it's like 10 skeins. That's insane. Great price. It is 100% Wisconsin wool, woolen spun. We love that. I think we decided that we're all going to make the stripe hype, I believe is what it's called. I don't know the designer's name because I just saw it and I favorited the pattern, and that was that. The stripe hype sweater, but we're not going to tell each other what our color planning is going to be. We're just going to like pick a random color order for how we want to do it. I'm really excited about this. I think the tonality is going to be kind of fun. Yes, I know there will be some pooling. Yes, I know it will be kind of striped because all of it is sort of dyed that way. I'm hoping that it will end up being kind of like a, it'll give it like a vintagey, like worn look, you know? And I'm really excited about that. This yarn, it smells like a sheep in my house. But they said it softens up really well. And if I'm being honest, Ray did a swatch while we were still away, and it does soften up some. And just from working with this wool, granted, I know that it is, there are different properties to it. I'm sure after a couple washes, it's going to be super, super soft, and I'm very excited about that. So that was purchase 1, which I thought was a great deal. Then I also needed to, oh my gosh, is this the only, oh no, it's in that bag. I also needed to pick up some fiber while I was there because duh. And so I was able to snag some of the Into the World 2025 New York Sheep and Wool exclusive colorway, which is called Ambrosia. I got 3 braids of it on their gray Corriedale base. I'm gonna just pull it out of the bag slightly so we can, oh no, so we can examine some of these colors. It is beautiful. It's also giving autumnal vibes. I love the like light mauvey purple, and like this is a yes for me. I think this is going to be really beautiful. So the plan, I also was shopping like with a plan, which love that for me. This, I say we, because it is we, are planning on, Kevin and I are hoping to spin for the Spice cardigan, which I've made one of those. If you've been watching the channel, you've seen I made my roommate 2 years ago maybe, and I loved knitting that thing. It was a lot of fun. But it's a cardigan, and then Kevin got a different base than I have, and Ray bought the yarn version of the exclusive colorway, and so we're all thinking about making the spiced cardigan for next year, universe willing, that we all get to go, or that I get to go. They'll probably go. People on the East Coast are so lucky. Everything's just right there. Yeah, so that's the plan for this. So I picked up 3 of those braids. Then I was enabled by a friend, Miguel, who we ran into, was it the second day? Maybe. And he pulled out of his bag some wool and was like, oh, you have to go to, oh, what is it called? I don't remember the name of the thing. Is it written on this? Is it written on this? Delana, I think, is something Delana or something like that was the store. Anyway, Oh, I feel bad. It'll be linked below, so it doesn't even matter. Because I'll be able to get my life together. And he showed us some unspun wool that was in plate form that was made of Mexican sheep. And it was really soft and it was gorgeous. I'm like, okay, well, now I've been enabled. I have to go and get that. And so I picked up, oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. This is in the color Gris. And the yarn details are, you can get approximately 218 yards if you hold these double. And that will get you a worsted to bulky gauge, and approximately 436 yards if held single, which will get you anywhere between a fingering and a DK weight gauge. Here's the little tag for it. I picked up 3 of these, and I may have already swatched using it, because when you go to Rhinebeck, it is only right that you come home and you swatch immediately for something that probably won't get made for a while, but still you've swatched for it. So I picked up 3 of these. One of them I'm not showing you because it's a little bit of a mess. It is unspun, so you have to be very delicate when using something like this. I've made, what's the name of it? I made the wrong side sweater using the Plutolopi, which is, actually it's right here, which is similar. I don't remember the colorway of this. Galaxy or something? Anyway, it's beautiful. I loved using this too. And I made the wrong side sweater by Maxim Cyr with that, and I held that double and I loved it. So I swatched for it holding it single, and my goal, which I will talk about more on the next episode, is to knit another vest using it held single. Okay, very excited about that. Then, is that it? Oh, the last thing I bought, well, 2 things I bought. I got Kendrick elk ear from a vendor. That was, what is the name of this place? Whisker Biscuit, I think Biscuits is the name of the place. He's not really a chewer, but sometimes he likes a bone every now and then. So I got him one of those. He's really digging it, so love that for him. And then I also got him, because I felt bad. People who I was with, they had cameras of their pets at home, and we're watching them even though they had sitters, and I was feeling left out and missing my little one, so I had to get him something. And then I think this is, okay, I'm gonna say it's Fibers of Life, but this is Fibers of Life. This is a felted dog bone. So cute. And 5% of the profits from these go to the Kathmandu Animal Treatment Center for Street Dogs, which I've been to Nepal, to Kathmandu specifically, so I thought that was kind of cool. That's the little thing for it. It's wool, and so you can, I'm probably gonna put this is gonna sound gross, but I'm gonna put this in my dirty clothes hamper, so that then it smells like me. And then I'm gonna give this to him in a week. But he he doesn't really chew toys, but if you have pets, when I come home, he'll grab a toy and he comes to the door with me. And so I want those to be I want this to be one of those for when I'm washing the other ones. He still has a toy from when I adopted him, and it's a little it's a little dog, but it's not like a dog where it's I don't know, where it's shaped like a dog where it can stand up. It's more like a dog that's splat out. Anyway, it's missing an ear now. He loves that thing, and I don't have the heart to get rid of it. I just keep washing it, and he just goes crazy for it. Anyway, so that's what I got him. That was such a random story, and that's it from. That's crazy. That's it from the festival. All right, so going backwards, Friday we went to Indie Untangled, and I picked up three things. One I'm gonna wait to show because I need to make sure that my sister's not gonna watch this. So I'll film something for the next episode and then I'll sneak it in because I'll try to send it to her before that. Anywho, but while I was at Indie, I also picked up. I wanted to support Michael at Upland Fiber Co. I've been following him on Instagram for a while, like pre him having a yarn company, and I love what's happening with the stuff that he's doing. And so it was nice to see he had a booth there. It was nice to see him in real life. One, just to see him, and then two, to check out his yarn. So he owns Upland Fiber Co. And I picked up a sweater quantity of his mohair, which is 70% American Merino, 30% American mohair in the color Storm. And this is a DK weight, and it's 280 yards, which is a really beautiful, just like steely blue. Kate from the Knitting Posse was wearing something knit up in this color, and I was going back and forth between two colors and absolutely settled on this one once I saw the two in person. So I'm really happy to have this. This is going to end up being I want to knit a cozy classic raglan. I feel like I just need like a regular, not as a bad thing, but just like a regular, simple sweater. And I want to knit it in this. So that was thing one. And then the second thing, other than the thing that I got for my sister, was I saw Debbie at Murky Depths. And so I had to buy something from her because if you've been following me since the beginning, you know I'm obsessed with Murky Depths. Honestly, like the first yarn dyer that I sort of fell in love with, and still to this day, like continue to love the colors that she's putting out. She also has a non-superwash base now that I need to get my hands on some of that. I don't know for what yet, but it will be something. So I picked up some fiber from her, and this is 4 ounces of a BFL and Saugerty Sunset. I'm pretty sure I got the yarn version of this last year. And so I'm really, it's so beautiful. I'm really excited to spin this at some point. I actually have some other fiber from her that I bought last year that I hadn't spun up yet, but it'll happen when it happens. Sweet. And I think, friends, I think that's it. That's all of the, sorry, I'm dipping in and out of the camera. That's all of the yarny goodness. I'm just trying to put some stuff back. Yeah, all in all, I have to say, very fun, very successful trip. Loved seeing everyone, the new friends that I met, old friends that I got to see and just hang out with. I feel like if you are watching these recap videos, you're going to be hearing this a lot, or at least I hope you are. Excuse me, is that leaving that weekend leaves you feeling, I know I just coughed and I feel like I have to hand sanitize now. Leaving that weekend leaves you feeling very full and inspired. And if I'm being honest, it is not, I feel the same way. I want to cast on all the things. I want to make all the things. And it's not just like knitting or crocheting. It's like I want to get back to my wheel because I haven't spun for a while. All the outfits that I wore were me-made outfits while I was there, and it made me really want to get back to sewing stuff because I haven't sewn anything in a while. And so I'm just trying to, well, it's only been a week, but trying to hold on to that energy because I really do feel like it can, propel me into the next couple of months. This time of year, is 3 months in a row of kind of big I shouldn't air quote it. They are holidays, big holidays. And so, this time of year can get very busy and very frantic. And I think coming off of the past weekend, it is a good reminder to take that time to slow down and feel creative for myself, to recharge so that I can get through the busyness that is this season that we are about to come up on, right? Also, we're entering cozy season. When we were gone, it was like 60s, 70s one day, and I got off the plane coming back home and it was 45 degrees. And I was like, wait a minute, who said that? Like, why did we decide that this was what we were going to be doing? But here we are. And so it's been, of course, I'm shaking the camera right as I'm wrapping this up. It's definitely starting to get colder here in the 50s, and friends were telling me that we are due for like a El Nino type situation. I think that's what it's called, where the winter's supposed to be horrible. So I am trying to hold on to this energy as we continue with fall and enter into winter, and just really be inspired to make all of the things with the things that I purchased. And even I came home and was looking at the wall behind me thinking, I just want to go through, rearrange, reorganize, and just, make all the things right now. And so I'm really digging that and loving that energy. And I hope that if you were able to attend the event, or if you are just watching the recap videos and you're living vicariously, that you're feeling that energy as well and wanting to create all of the things right now. I know some of you all are getting ready to start making things for people as for gifts, and I love you for that. That's not my ministry anymore. So I'm going to be casting on all the things for myself, which you should make things for yourself. So that's that on that. If you have made it this far and you would like the yarn that I would like to pass along to one of you, please make sure you go over to the Ravelry group and comment, what did I say? Oh, your favorite Halloween costume. That's so funny and so silly. That you have ever been, or maybe that you've made for someone too. Let's add that too. And then I will pick a winner I'll try to record on Saturday. Maybe I'll record on Friday. I'll pick a winner and then I'll announce that in 1 week when I record my normal podcast episode. Well, this is a normal podcast episode too, but when I get back on track. And I've got to go put all this stuff away now, which thankfully I'm happy that I can finally put it in its home now that I've shown it to you all. And I hope everyone's doing well, and watching all the recap videos and just hanging out and getting ready to be cozy as the season changes. And that's that on that. So until I see you in 1 week now, make a piece, spread some peace, peace.